Hello, everyone. Welcome to another open mind intuitive message. This is going to be a special reading focusing on Donald Trump's announcement later on today. So, the White House posted a notice on social media stating that Donald Trump will make an important announcement today. And I don't know the nature of this announcement, but I will say that Donald Trump has an ascendant in Leo. I believe it's 28 or 29 degrees of Leo. He also has a sun in Gemini. Okay. Currently, there are two transits that will form a dissonant aspect with his ascendant, which is the physical body, and his sun sign, which is the vitality. Okay. And the planets involved in this are Uranus and the North Node. The North Node's not really a planet, but anyway, Uranus and the North Node. Uranus is currently in Gemini, but is going to go retrograde back into Taurus on November 7th of this year. And when it goes retrograde, it's going to form an exact square with Donald Trump's ascendant in Leo. Okay. Now, Uranus is going to go retrograde also in Donald Trump's 10th house. The 10th house is the house of society, celebrity, leadership. This is your public face, right? Your reputation, your social status, your visibility, okay? With Uranus forming a square to his ascendant in his 10th house, there is a possibility of a drastic or sudden change to this area of his life and thus the country. The 10th house, again, is our social status and our public face, right? Celebrity, fame, recognition, so on and so forth. This energy is currently undergoing a change. Also, the North Node is in Pisces, and Pisces is the 10th sign from Gemini. So Donald Trump is experiencing two dissonant or challenging aspects to the 10th house from his ascendant and the 10th house from his sun sign, okay? And the North Node energy is similar to Uranus in expression. North Node energy is also about unexpected changes, endings, and eclipsing out of something. Something is going to basically lose face, right? It'll be hidden. It'll be destroyed. It'll be, removed or reduced in power. There's a reduction in energy and in power courtesy of this eclipse in Pisces, which will be in his 10th house from his sun. So concurrently, we have Uranus going retrograde, forming a square to Donald Trump's ascendant, which is the physical body. And then we have the North Node in Pisces forming a square to Donald Trump's sun at the same time, during the same time period, okay? Also, J.D. Vance is a Leo sun and a Leo ascendant. He also has Pluto in Scorpio. So the Uranus and Taurus transit is going to enter his 10th house in retrograde as well, which could potentially put him in power unexpectedly. There's an unexpected change in his position in government, right? Now, I don't want to say unexpected. It's not unexpected. It is something that was not planned, but the warnings have been swirling in the air for Donald Trump for many months now about his physical health. The occultists who chose Donald Trump to be, not chose, the occultists who are controlling Donald Trump, they're the ones who chose J.D. Vance to be his replacement. Donald Trump is a mutable sign. He's mutable air. Mutable energy is about transition. It's not about maintenance or stability. He was there to transition or to facilitate some sort of transition or change in the government that J.D. Vance, a fixed sign, is supposed to sustain. Because J.D. Vance has Pluto square his sun and ascendant, he will do anything to acquire power and to maintain power. However, because Pluto is forming an opposition to J.D. Vance's sun and ascendant in Leo, he will attract powerful people who are dangerous. And these people may threaten him if he does not do what he wants them to do, period. The North Node will be entering Aquarius sometime next year. I don't have my firmness in front of me, but the North Node will be entering Aquarius within the next year. The North Node in Aquarius will form a conjunction with Pluto in Aquarius. This could portend a civil war that affects the United States of America. At I would say at best, J.D. Vance will have a lot of enemies from either the U.S. population, the citizens, or the very powerful people behind the scenes who want to control him. There's going to be a South Node conjunction on J.D. Vance's sun and ascendant during if he becomes president, sitting president, over the next year and a half, within the next 2 years. Before the 2028 election, J.D. Vance will experience a South Node Sun Ascendant conjunction. Okay, and this is it's going to be a very pivotal moment in his life. There could be a civil war in the country when the North Node enters Pluto in Aquarius. Because Aquarius represents the population, the collective, and and Pluto represents some sort of change, a transformation that's permanent. And then you also have to deal with the country's moon. America's moon is in Aquarius. There's going to be the North Node conjunct the moon and Pluto in Aquarius within the next several years. I would say a year and a half, 2 years. I have to give my ephemeris, I'm sorry. So there could be some sort of a radical change in American society that leads to civil unrest and that will put J.D. Vance under a really nasty target. He will have lots of enemies, but also lots of powerful friends. So Pluto in the seventh house in Aquarius is lots of powerful friends and lots of powerful enemies. J.D. Vance will be their friend, these people's friends, as long as he's under their control, as long as he's useful to them. And he's aware of this. Okay? So I don't know what's going to happen, but more than likely, with the eclipses in Donald Trump's 10th house from his sun and Uranus going retrograde into Taurus and Donald Trump's 10th house from his ascendant, these two energies are malefic and they're about change and endings that are permanent. Okay? So that could be the issue. I don't know. Even if he doesn't make this announcement tomorrow, right? Or today. We said 2 o'clock today. Even if he doesn't say this today, within the next 6 months, from now until April, a lot of stuff is going to change in Donald Trump's life as it pertains to his physical health, his vitality, his physical body, and his position as a leader in this country, period. Okay? All right, let's begin. So I'm going to start with these tarot cards. Spirit guides, other angels, and divine messengers. Donald Trump will be delivering a message to the citizens of the United States, to the world. Today, later on today. What will be the nature of this message? What will be the nature of this message? Donald Trump will be disseminating a message to the collective within the next few hours. Office of the President of the United States has a message for the American citizens. What will be the nature of this message? Thank you very much. Four of Wands. Home, family, stability, happiness, joy. This is typically a good card. So there's something going on with family here with him, with his home. He may decide to spend more time with family. His life is winding down. And these people appear to be waving either hello or goodbye. You see here in this card, there's people waving. Either they're waving hello or goodbye, right? The first family. There's a message from the first family. It's celebratory in nature. Is this hello or goodbye? It wouldn't be hello because we know these people. What's underneath this? What's being hidden here? The Chariot moving forward, going towards one's destiny. This is also Cancer energy. So we have, this is almost like saying moving away from a home, moving out of the White House, moving back home. Moving back home. This is something that is fated. It was destined to happen, but it could be happening before it was planned. With the Chariot energy here, this is someone moving back home or leaving the White House or stepping down or something. It's almost like a goodbye. The Chariot represents traveling and moving forward. What's going on here? What's the nature of this? The world ending. Yeah, someone could be stepping down. The first family could be there with him. He could be surrounded by his children and his in-laws, his son-in-law, whatever. They could be surrounding him, and this could be a family decision to walk away from this, to end this. The eclipses are, again, the eclipse is in his 10th house, the end of something, and the Uranus is also in the 10th house from the ascendant, the end of a cycle. We have fixed energies here. We have Leo here. We have Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. Queen of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy, Capricorn energy. His wife's a Taurus. So he's going to be focusing on his health. Pentacles usually represents physical health and vitality. So we'll find out what's happening. Let me get some clarifiers before I continue with this. So it's this is not a sad goodbye. This is a decision that was made. There's like a sense of relief here. A sense of relief or a sense of destiny. This is not an unhappy message. This is something that he's doing for his family. He's happy about this decision. We do see red and blue, Republican and Democrat here. Red Lodge, Blue Lodge. Five of Swords reverse, yeah. He's happy about this. So the Five of Swords reverse represents like the end of conflict, gossip, backbiting. He's tired. He wants to enjoy his last days or his old age. This is not what he thought it would be. Uranus in the 10th house, in the North Node in the 10th house, in a transit, and even natally. This is, this is like having sudden changes in perspective about whatever house Uranus is in or whatever house the North Node is in. And these changes are like an epiphany or like an awakening, like, you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to live like this. This is not what he expected. He wants to be happy again. The Five of Swords reverse. He wants all the gossiping, the backbiting, the Epstein file situation, the wars. He wants to just get away from everything. This is not fun for him anymore. He doesn't enjoy this. And it's like, why am I doing this? He's asking himself, why am I doing this? Five of Swords reverse. Clarify the Chariot, please, for Donald Trump. What's going on with him? Why am I doing this? Nine of Cups reverse. This is not what he thought it would be. He became president for his ego. He thought it would be different. He didn't realize there were so many snakes and vipers and interloculars? There's so much interference from people who want the country to run a certain way. He thought he would be in control, and he's not in control. This is like a be careful what you wish for. Something he wished and hoped for did not plan out the way he expected because of so much Five of Swords energy. So many people in his ear, people lying to him, manipulating him, social media gossip. People this is not what he expected. It's not what he wanted. And he's like, I'm rich. I have a beautiful family. I have grandchildren. We have money. We have power. Why am I doing this? I can't do what I thought I would be able to do because there are other Five of Swords people involved. People lying to me, trying to manipulate me, control me. My life is miserable in this situation. I want to be happy. I don't want to live my last days talking about Epstein, talking about the wars. I want to enjoy my family, my children, everything that I've worked for. It's almost going down the drain because of this presidency, and my health is also being affected. Nine of Cups first. This is not what he thought it would be. This is like bittersweetness. You got what you wanted, but then it turns out to be trash. Like you're miserable. You got the job you wanted, but it's long hours. The pay is great. The vanity title is great, but you're not enjoying your life. He's not enjoying himself. This sucks for him. He's probably never had to work this hard in his whole life. And he's old now. So he's like, what the fuck am I doing here? Pardon my French. But he's like, what am I doing here? Clarify the World card, please, for Donald Trump. These came out. Yes, Five of Wands. Tired of fighting. Epstein files. Wars. Iran, Iraq. Israeli Zionists, AIPAC. People on social media. He's tired of the fighting. Five of Swords, Five of Wands. And he is a Gemini, and fives represent change and mercurial energy. He's tired of this. He wants to retire in peace and solitude. He's tired of the constant changing, moving around, traveling, arguments, drama. He just wants to retire in peace and quiet. He's tired of the fighting. What's after this? We have the King of Pentacles. Yes, he wants to enjoy his peace and quiet and his wealth. King and Queen of Pentacles, his wife, may also be encouraging him to do this. Like, I have all this money. What am I arguing for? Why am I arguing with poor people on social media, people with no power, people with no money, people who don't know who I am? Why am I arguing with people online or just in general? My life is being controlled by other people, by by the globalists, by the elitists, by the occultists, by Zionists, come on, what is this? I'm being attacked, and I'm now under the spotlight for things that went down decades ago. I lost my privacy. I'm losing my peace. I'm losing my health. F this. He's done. Whether he says it tomorrow or not, he's done with this whole thing. Chariot and the World card, he's going towards the star, which is Aquarius energy, but also this is his future, his ending, he wants a peaceful resolution. He doesn't want to be under this spotlight. More than likely, he will retire from public life, period. His family may be around him when he makes this announcement today. What else is this? Lover's card, Gemini. A choice. He's choosing to make a decision to walk away from this because it's not what he expected. Gemini is about, again, mutability, he changed his mind. The Lover's card represents a moral choice or decision that has to be made. He's choosing to walk away from the drama. It's not worth it for him. He wants to enjoy his family. This is like a really sunny, bright, beautiful place, like Mar-a-Lago, right? With his family. It's like the family is waving goodbye, to the public. The first family, they're like, we're done. Talk about the Queen of Pentacles, please. King of Cups reverse. Yeah, she's not happy about this. His wife was emotionally upset about what was going on. His wife is, again, a Taurus. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. And that will be the King of Cups energy. She doesn't want this to be what it is. Three of Cups up here, okay? Which is about celebration. Six of Pentacles in reverse. What's interesting? His wife was embarrassed. This is like a woman who's feeling emotionally upset or disturbed about some of the things she found out about her husband or the things that were found out about her. She was put under the spotlight too, his wife. She didn't appreciate that. She wants her privacy also. She's not feeling good in this situation. She feels emotionally unstable, ungrounded, or she feels like her husband is emotionally unstable and ungrounded. This whole situation is ugly for her. She'll be happy when he steps down. The Three of Cups is like maybe a third-party situation, affairs, deceptive situations, the Epstein files, and so on and so forth. The Six of Pentacles represents like a mutual exchange of energy, but it's reversed. There's something here that's imbalanced. There's an imbalanced give and take. I think his wife feels like she sacrificed a whole lot for her husband. And she wants to spend time with him in his last days or her last days or whatever. You haven't seen Melania Trump this time. I haven't seen much of Melania Trump in the White House since he got elected. During his first presidency, she was there with him more often, but you really see her now. She's minding her business in a sense. And she's also been embarrassed by whatever's going on with him. So she feels like this is not worth it. The Six of Pentacles reverse. She's not getting what she thought she would get. The Six of Pentacles is like, this is not abundant energy. The Queen of Pentacles has more resources than the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles reverse is like, this is not worth it. We're losing money. We're losing power. This is not worth it. Also she feels like she sacrificed so much for her husband. The marriage is not balanced. I don't know, she doesn't see him as often. She's upset with him. King of Cups reverse. She's upset with him or disappointed in him in some way because of what was going on with the Epstein situation, but also extramarital affairs that she found out about, infidelities, that there was a lot going on that she didn't know about her husband that came out during his presidential run, his campaign, and also after the election. And also, like, there's so much stuff coming out. And she's like, this is not worth it. She's not being treated fairly. She's not being respected or something like that. This is disturbing her peace and her stability and her tranquility. It's affecting their money also. She's not happy about this. She feels like there's, I don't know, she may feel like also he's been cheating on her, potentially. The Six of Pentacles reverse. He's breadcrumbing her. Not he can't give as much to her as she would like because he's so busy with other things, traveling the world. You never see him with her. They're never together. Not that I've seen in the past couple of months since he's been reelected. She's minding her business and she's not there with him, and she misses her husband too. She may want to spend more time with him with the Three of Cups. So yeah, this is a family decision. Like, this is not worth it. Why are you really doing this? You won already. You won the presidency, but at the same time, you can't even do what you want to do because there are other people involved in this. They're intercepting and interfering with what your plans are. So you thought you would be this big patriot to save the country from the globalists or whatever, when in actuality, the globalists have more power than you expected. And they've pretty much infiltrated every single intelligence agency in the country. So whatever intelligence you're getting from these people. They're controlling your whole life. They're sabotaging you. You are now a pariah almost. You have abandoned or you have ostracized your supporters at the behest of the people who are controlling you, and you don't like them either. Five of Swords, Five of Wands, you don't like them either. They don't like you, but they're using you, and it's like, yeah, he feels like this is not worth it for him. This ain't worth it for him. How will Donald Trump's announcement today affect J.D. Vance? These cards are feeling heavy. How will it affect J.D.? It's a burden on him. Now, here you go. Six of Wands, leading to the Ten of Wands. You got what you wanted. Now you're the president. All of the Pluto and Aquarius energy. Aquarius represents large groups of people. Lots of people, lots of eyes on him. All the elites, plus the public. Because the elites, their agenda is diametrically opposed to the well-being and the stability and comfort and safety of the general public. We are a threat to them. They consider the American citizen to be public enemy number one. The elites, right? The Clintons, the Bushes, the Zionists. They consider the American citizen to be an enemy of the state because the American citizen doesn't want to be a slave. And so the elites have no problem bringing in slaves from other countries to take American jobs, because if those slaves from other countries come in and start trouble, right, they want to protect their civil rights or their human rights, they're deported. So the elites only respect and value, and no, I would say this. They'll take care of, and they're only comfortable around people they can control. They can't control the American citizen because of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. If you're not an American citizen, you're from a different country, and you're not born here, you don't have the same amount of protections, because as soon as you pop off and you become inconvenient to the system, they can deport you. So because I can control you, I'll give you opportunities that I'm not going to give to the American citizen. I'll replace the American citizen with people from third world countries who are just happy to be slaves. Well-paid slaves in some cases, but the objective is always control. Always. So because they cannot control the American citizen, because we like to fight, we like to shoot, we have a very proud heritage of freedom fighting, liberation, regardless of race, because we have a long history of fighting against oppression, across the board, and we enjoy fighting and busting ass. They got a problem with us. They want to replace us with people who are docile slaves. And so they can't kill us off, with what they're trying to, with their experimentations. because they can't overtly kill us off with their experimentations and, the drug epidemic and the nasty food and the stress and the poor healthcare system. They're trying to kill us off that way. But because they can't do that quickly, they're just going to replace us with millions of people who are willing to be slaves, who are willing to be controlled, who won't resist, or who won't make trouble with the government, who don't want to revolt, who don't care about national principles because they're sending money back home. They plan on retiring in India. They plan on retiring in Mexico. They plan on retiring in Guatemala. They plan on retiring in Jamaica and Nigeria. They don't plan on retiring here, so they don't really care about the fate of the country. The globalists have more in common with the immigrant than they do with the sovereign citizen. This is in every country, whether you're in West Indies, whether in Africa. The globalists care more about immigrants than they do sovereigns or citizens, because you can control immigrants more than you can control sovereign citizens. As simple as that. Also, what's also happening, now I'll get into this a little more with the economy. No, I'll wait. So yeah, JD Vance is 10 of Wands. What's hidden from him? The devil. Yes. Okay. Who's the devil? Pluto and Aquarius. The intelligence agencies, right? These are the, globalists, the international elite, bankers, investors. You will do what we say. Pluto in Aquarius opposing the sun and ascendant. Pluto square the sun and the ascendant natally for JD Vance. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But again, you're getting in bed with the devil. And I was going to, I was thinking about this analogy with the Bible. The devil came to Jesus and said, I'll give you the whole world. Just serve me. And that's something that I thought about when I was meditating on this reading. JD Vance having a Pluto square ascendant, he's a type that will take power or who wants power by any means necessary. Doesn't matter who's offering it to him, he will want that power. But then that's a trick bag, because now you lose power by seeking power. The very people who are giving you power have the same ability to take it from you in not so good ways. The South Node conjunct the ascendant and the sun. Pluto opposing the ascendant and the sun. Some sort of civil war or civil unrest, because the people who he's serving are at odds with the country, his countrymen, civilians. His patriotism is going to be called into question. Power over patriotism. What's more important, your power or the country that you're serving? And he was in the Marines. Now he's getting in bed with the devil. Donald Trump gave his, is that funny? But Donald Trump gave all the wands to him. He gave the 6 wands to JD Vance. 6 of Wands, attention, victory, success, Leo energy. Here, I'm stepping down. Fuck all this. This is not worth it. Here you go, JD Vance. You got the power you said you wanted. The devil's here. Now come the leeches and the parasites and the roaches and the vermin. We need you to do this for us. We need more war, more death. We need to get rid of this population of old people who are taking up too much money. They're too expensive to sustain. But we want their trillions of dollars in wealth. These boomers, they're in the way. We need you to help us get rid of them, because they're bankrupting the country. And we want their resources. We want the homes that they have, the land. We want their investments. We're going to try to siphon the wealth from these old people and not give it to the millennials or Gen X. We want to intercept. So he's going to have to do all that too. He's going to become the devil, or he's going to work with the devil. Clarify the Ten of Wands, please. This is a burden. Eight of Pentacles reverse, Ten of Swords. Yeah. Betrayal. Damn, I can't even do what I was supposed to do. He thought it was going to be one way, and it's going to be the other way. When he had his political aspirations, just like Donald Trump, he thought it was going to be one way. It's going to be another way. And I mentioned this earlier. If he doesn't do what they say, he's under the threat of being harmed physically. Period. Because the people who he's serving don't give a F about anybody, including each other. They're only loyal to whomever's serving them or aligning with their agenda. But these are the kind of people who will eat their own babies, literally and figuratively. These are cannibals. Energetically, financially, culturally, they're cannibals. They don't really have a loyalty to anyone. They'll protect you as long as you're doing their bidding. As soon as you become inconvenient and you don't do what they want you to do, they will get rid of you. The Ten of Swords is Gemini energy. Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy. And it's reversed. So now there was something he was working on that's being interrupted. He was doing fine as the vice president. And Eight of Pentacles is an apprentice. He's learning how to be a president. He's watching Donald Trump. He's learning how to be in power. He's learning how to, I guess, to do his job. He's learning his job. This is going to end suddenly, and now now you're in charge. No more learning for you. It's time for you to be center stage. And this is because of some sort of ending, courtesy of Donald Trump. Betrayal. This could be also a transition of life. Someone losing their physical health. He has no choice. He may feel betrayed or like, damn, overwhelmed by this. Ten of Wands now. 2 tens. Now, what's the devil doing here? What's the devil doing here for JD Vance, the devil? Judgment reverse. Oh, Lord. This is not what he expected. Like, he had plans, but them plans ain't going to be what he thought it was going to be. And judgment, it's kind of like Revelations in the Bible, the end times, right? The devil makes a proposition to Jesus. If you serve me, then we good. I'll give you everything you want, all the power in the world, all the land, all the resources, but you must serve me. Judgment reverse is sort of like, it's like a karmic trick bag. You got tricked into this. You don't have a choice in the matter. So, yeah, I don't know if JD Vance was aware that Donald Trump was going to step down. I think he was cool being vice president. He's still very young. He's born in 1984. He just turned 40. For him to be president at that young age, I think it's a seductive idea. Like, it's a seductive proposition to be president of the United States. But I don't think he's going to enjoy it either. You got the Ten of Swords, the Devil, the Ten of Wands, 2 Wands reverse, Judgment reverse. He's not going to enjoy this. He's seeing what Donald Trump is going through, and it's like, here's the hot potato. Here's the attention. Here's the fame. Here's everything I've been going through. Now the Epstein file thing is going to be on his back. You got to deal with the war in Iran, Zionists, genocide, economic. This is a lot. And I don't think he's going to enjoy this. I honestly don't think he'll run for re-election if he wins or if he takes office. How will how will the general public or the collective, how will American citizens feel about Donald Trump's announcement? Yay, he's going. It's not funny. They want to be happy with whatever he has to say. Thank goodness. That is not going to be bad news. Like, okay, we're going at war, or okay, there's an economic depression, or okay, we're going to deport people. There's going to be a positive response or reaction to this. Queen of Wands to Page of Wands, stepping down from power. Go from the Queen to the Page. Power is being reduced or diminished in some way. Yay! Leo energy. This is also Aries. Aries, Leo. Wand energy. This is like a sense of invigoration, enthusiasm, hope. Also, the Sun is the most positive card in the deck. So this enthusiasm and hope. Yeah, new beginnings. Yeah, new beginnings. Let's start over. And then we have Three of Wands. Yeah, so it's like potentials, possibilities. The sky's the limit. There's a sense of renewed hope here and faith about our future, because this is something that's considered to be positive, honestly. They'll be happy about this. It won't be another, oh my God, we're at war. Oh my God, whatever, Zionists, Israel, whatever. It's not going to be that. It'll be, yay, ding dong, the witch is whatever. Clarify the Sun card, please. What's going on with this? We have the Ten of Wands reversed. So basically, J.D. Vance is picking up what Donald Trump is putting down. Ten of Wands reversed. This is transition of power. This is a less burden. People are feeling less burdened, or they're feeling more uplifted here. But like I said, the devil's still here with J.D. Vance. So the same people who are controlling Donald Trump are also controlling J.D. Vance. So it's kind of like you thought it would be one way and it's another way. Ten of Wands reverse is like putting down a burden. People feel lighter, happier, freer. This is not going to be bad news. People will even be nicer for 24 hours. People will even be nicer online. Like the energy will become more pleasant for some reason. What is going on? Y'all are slow. Okay, let me continue this. So I'm just thinking about like the hordes of people on social media just being so nice because now he's not there. Now I will say this. Donald Trump has Mars conjunct Pluto on his ascendant. So that's a really nasty energy. The energy of the country was a reflection of that, of his natal chart, of that conjunction. Okay, what's going on with Three of Pentacles? I'm laughing right now. It's stupid. Okay. The King of Cups reverse. And this is a dummy card. The King of Cups reverse. This is like one of the cards for like the cover card. So this is not a real card. The King of Cups reverse. Yeah. The King of Cups reverse is like emotionally imbalanced or emotionally unstable. This is a charming, manipulative energy, a player, womanizer, a liar. And so now let's get back to business. Let's get back to building. Three of Pentacles is about collaboration, working together. And I said being nicer, people being nicer to each other. Feeling happier, like, wow, it's a relief. They're feeling relieved, like a weight or clouds are dissipating with the sun. The sun is breaking through some clouds. It's a really cloudy, dark period over the past several months. It's a lot of animosity, a lot of confusion, a lot of hatred, a lot of anger. Five on the Page of Wands and the Three of Wands, please. This is new beginnings, new ideas, new initiatives, death card, yeah. New beginnings, new ideas. Someone's ending is a new beginning for us. Three of Pentacles reverse. A lack of collaboration. The country at odds with each other. Immigrants versus ADOS or FBA. White people versus FBA. FBA versus immigrants. whatever, rich versus poor, gay versus straight, all this infighting. Now there's an opportunity for us to come together, I guess. That's going to be the message, coming together to broker our differences because we have the same enemy, we have the same goals. So death, an ending leads to a beginning, something being recycled here. The moon card. Yeah. See, the moon represents the night. This is also eclipse energy, but the moon leads to the sun. It's like darkness, the darkness before dawn. Some dark period is over temporarily. It's a temporary reprieve. I'm saying temporary because, again, the devil's here with J.D. Vance. The same roaches and vermin and pests are still controlling the intelligence agencies. They haven't gone away. It's just that there's some sort of transition happening. There's also, I think they're trying to pull a sleight of hand here. The powers that be do not appreciate the amount of negative energy that they're receiving from the collective. They don't like it because that's how they lose power too. A lot of their power comes from our ignorance. It comes from our blind obedience or acquiescence. Now that we're angry and we're broke and we're frustrated, we're paying more attention to them and they don't feel comfortable in that situation. They don't. So they're going to try to find a way to assuage us, placate us temporarily to get the smoke off of them because people are upset about what's going on. It's like a powder keg. Everything is so intense, and Pluto and Aquarius, like, this is a destruction of the collective, civil wars, civil unrests, weaponized information. Nobody's like, there's no friends, there's no alliances here. Similar to Pluto and Libra during that time period, that generation who had all these murders and stuff during the crack epidemic in the inner cities. The Pluto and Libra generation, Generation X, a lot of homicides during that time period. Pluto and Aquarius is similar. Like, nobody can trust the other person. There's a lot of animosity, again, weaponized groups of people, infighting. Like, yeah, this is a destruction of friends, groups, society, associations. You're all enemies of each other, something like that. We're all each other's enemy. You're not going to trust anybody or not be able to trust anybody because of, manipulation by the government, poverty, stress, racism, bigotry, nationalism, whatever. The opposite of Aquarius is Leo, which is the nationalist. Capricorns are also nationalists, and Cancers are also nationalists. Aquarians are not nationalists. They're more so about the collective of society, and regardless of race, gender, creed, this is an international country. The United States is an international country. The moon is in Aquarius. So we have people from different walks of life, different parts of the world who have become American citizens. So that's not Aquarius. But what's happening is that the polarity point of Aquarius is being activated because of Pluto, which is betrayal, ruthlessness, deceit, criminality, theft of resources, danger. So now we're going into the 5th house, which is natalism, because the 11th house is being obstructed or destroyed by the powers that be, by the elites. Okay, the moon eclipse. Yay, this is over. Ding dong, something is gone. I'm not going to say that word, but clarify the Page of Pentacles, please. The Chariot moving forward. Yep, Donald Trump moving forward, just like we had in the base spread. And Knight of Swords reversed. This is Gemini energy. Yeah, he's going to step down within the next 6 months. And it turned up right. He's going to step down because this is not what he signed up for. This is some BS. That's what he's saying. This is not worth it. He thought that, I think when he had his his dreams, his fantasies about being president back in the day, he thought it would be much different than it is now, and it's not what he thought it would be. It's not worth it to him anymore. He's not even spending time with his family and his kids. He loves his children, definitely. He has, I believe, Venus and Mercury in Cancer conjunct, I believe. I'm not sure. I forgot. So he's missing time with his children and his wife, and you don't see them with him. I don't think they wanted him to run, honestly. A message for or from Donald Trump pertaining to today's announcement. Inner work and gratitude. And then we have joy. So everybody's happy about this. He's happy to be leaving, and we're going to be happy he's gone. That's what's happening. Okay. Inner work, all this orange energy, solar plexus, Leo. God brings me ideal situations for my inner healing. As I become aware of my weaknesses, maybe my physical health is declining, maybe, whatever's going on, I can turn them into my strengths. I direct my thoughts toward the light and see the positive side of every stage of my life. It's like a life review. He doesn't want to do this. Darkness turns into courage. It will take courage for him to step down from this position. He's doing something that he didn't ever foresee happening, but this is not working out the way he expected. Thus, I get stronger. That means that he's weakened right now. The devil is the enemy to the strength card. The strength card is not here. Let me do something else real quick before I proceed with this. Thus, I get stronger. Gratitude. I thank you for electing me as your president, for being a servant of this country. God bless America, something like that. I'm aware of the light in my life. I direct my thought to the beauty in and around me. So he wants to be with his family. He's not spending time with his family. He's traveling constantly. He's not at home. He's not seeing his grandkids or his children. It's like this is not what he signed up for. I give thanks to God for every little thing that brings me joy. Thus, I enlighten my thoughts. Riches surround me. Riches surround me, and I appreciate all that life brings me. He already has the money. He has the children, the family. He's already won. But I think he's learned through this experience that his ego was the problem. He was never satisfied with having everything. He always wanted more. Now you got everything and then some, including Epstein drama. So because you weren't grateful for what you had, you put yourself in a situation where you can lose everything because you weren't grateful for all the blessings that God gave you. He gave you wealth. He gave you favor, grace, right? Protection, beautiful, healthy children, beautiful, healthy wife. I'm speaking relatively here. Healthy children, wife, fame, fortune. You were able to be a real estate mogul. Then you went into TV. Then you were a politician, and you still weren't grateful. So now you got the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords and the Devil. Now you mad. Now you got Epstein files on you because you weren't grateful for just being Donald Trump. You had to be more. It was never enough for you. And that's typical of the North Node conjunct the Sun, or Pluto conjunct the Ascendant, and or Mars conjunct the Ascendant too. Always wanting more, very competitive, very, I don't say greedy, but there's a lust or craving for power's sake. So now he was successful in real estate to an extent, in television, and now politics. You've done it all. But because you were not grateful for where you were, you wanted more power. Now here you are fucked up in the game. Epstein files. One more. Joy. Like a child, I discovered joy in the simplicity of life. Being the president of the United States is not simple. There are roaches and vermin and globalists and elitists and occultists who are vying for power, and they're going to use you for that power. You're the scapegoat for whatever they want to accomplish. Now, he thought it would be different, and it's not. Because the very people who controlled Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Bill Clinton and all these other presidents, they're still in power. They're still alive. Dick Cheney's still alive. George Bush Jr. is still alive. The roaches and the vermin and the destructive forces on this planet that caused the havoc that we are dealing with now are still here. So there's no simplicity, because now you got Epstein files and you have to protect thousands of the elites who have pretended to be concerned about R. Kelly trafficking children or Bill Cosby drugging women. They didn't care about that. They didn't care about that. They were doing it themselves. But they wanted whatever Michael Jackson had. They wanted whatever Bill Cosby had. They wanted whatever R. Kelly had. So they pretended to be concerned about the children and women. Meanwhile, they're all on this list. Everybody's doing it among the elite. So now it's not simple. In order for you to protect the elites, you gotta hoist yourself on your own petard. You gotta sacrifice yourself. Now you're a liar. They're using you. They're hiding behind you. The elites are hiding behind you, and you're there to protect them from their own malfeasance. 10 of Wands. Donald Trump's a liar. He's fake. He's a fraud. I know that bothered him. That fucked with him. He was not happy with that, because his being a Leo, he wants to be well liked. Not a Leo sun and ascendant. Sorry, being a Leo ascendant and a Pluto and Leo, Mars and Leo. He wants to be liked. He wants to be, the king. He wants to be a well-liked king. He doesn't want to be hated, because when a king is hated, they don't have power. They lose power. He wants to be popular. He wants to be mentioned in rap songs. He wants to be friends with Mike Tyson. He wants to be friends with celebrities. He doesn't just want to be a politician. That's not him. He wants to have fun, and his life is not fun anymore, because he was not satisfied with the blessings that God gave him, which was everything you wanted, Leo. You're a Leo king. You have, again, you're a white man in America, born in the 1940s, right before the baby boom movement, right before the American economy exploded. You were able to benefit from that, became really wealthy. Within one generation, your family coming to this country, you became really wealthy. All this fame, all this money, all this power, you're still not satisfied? You still want more? Okay, here's the more you're going to get. 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords. Now a bunch of roaches and leeches are bothering you. Now you gotta protect disgusting people. You're disgusting too, but now Now what? Stress, drama. You can't enjoy your life. You're almost 80 years old. You can't even enjoy your retirement. You're gonna like, come on now. And he doesn't have to do this. He has millions of dollars, if not billions. His children are set up good. His grandchildren are great. He has a wife. He doesn't have to do this. That's what he's realizing. Like a child, I discovered, this is Leo energy, the child, right? He was kind of spoiled and petulant and arrogant and narcissistic. Now he got his behind beat by energy, by the universe. Okay, you want it all? Here's Epstein. Here's Iran. Here's Gaza. Here's the economy. Here's China. Here's all of it. Since you can't get enough of whatever, you want more power, here's all the power that you wanted. And he doesn't want to deal with it. It's miserable. Like a child, I discovered joy in the simplicity of life, his family, his children, his old age. Happiness lies in magical moments, not in the material. Not in the material. Now he's appreciating the simpler things in life. So you got all this wealth and all this power. It's not making him happy. He's miserable. He wants to leave. Even the smallest joy is a great source of light, and he's learning that now. He's learning that, you know what, I like to golf. I like quietness. I like to go to celebrity parties. I don't want to be king of the world. Pluto in Leo. Pluto conjunct Mars. I don't want to be king of the world. King of the world sucks. I can't have fun if I'm king of the world. I can't, jet set and have fun with, what's his name? With my friend. I'm losing my friends. He's losing his friends too. Pluto in Aquarius opposing his ascendant. I'm losing my friends. Joe Rogan and them, with Dana White, Mike Tyson, whoever. The people who I have been friends with for 40 years, they're not talking to me no more, or our relationship is strained. So he's not a politician. He's a party boy who made lots of money, having casinos, again, real estate. This is not fun for him at all. Let me get a purpose and career reading for Donald Trump, please. Purpose and career for Donald Trump. Purpose and career for Donald Trump. He's going to learn a lesson. He's learned a lesson, I think, about a lack of gratitude, being spoiled, right? Feeling entitled to more, never being satisfied with what you have, courtesy of the boomer population. That generation is extremely entitled and they're very selfish. What benefits the man to gain the world and lose his soul? I think that's what he feels like now. He feels like he lost himself in this whole situation. The presidency, running for president, he just wanted to win, but he lost a huge part of himself in the process. Mishaps. Thank you. There may be some minor setbacks, but it's only asking you to review your work and see what you've missed on. Mistakes teach us lessons. I think he feels like it's a mistake running for president again. He regrets doing this. Charm. You mesmerize people with your charm and elegance. You have a style that captivates your audience. Use your confidence to your advantage. And that's what ended up happening. He charmed his way into a bag of snakes. He charmed his way into trouble because his charm made him a successful businessman in real estate, with the casinos, with the reality TV shows, in politics. His charm, Gemini, a Gemini sun conjunct North Node, his charm got him in rooms that he shouldn't have been in. It garnered him power and support that he didn't really earn or deserve, in a sense. And so he charmed his way into some trouble. There was this illustration showing like Donald Trump fanning some flames. Donald Trump was fanning the flames. Each illustration, each image showed the progression of the flame getting bigger. Donald Trump still fanning the flames because I can charm my way out of this. He thought he could charm his way out of the Epstein scandal, Zionism, the Gaza genocide, immigration situations. He thought he could charm his way in and out of things, and it got him in trouble. It effed him up. He bit off more than he could chew. Now he's giving 6 wands. Here, JD Vance. Here are 6 wands. Here's, you want the attention. Now you got it. It's yours. I'm out. He won't. He may not. If he doesn't announce this tomorrow, he'll do it within the next 6 months. Before Uranus re-enters Gemini, he will probably step down because there's an eclipse in his 10th house within that time period. There's an eclipse in the 4th house and the 10th house. So the 4th house is for him, Virgo. That's his home and family. The White House is currently his home. He's moving out of the White House within the next 6 months. And that will make everybody happy. I'm gonna find out. I'm not laughing at y'all. I'm just like, why is this making me happy? I don't even care because I'm like, JD Vance made it worse. Okay. More information, please, for Donald Trump and the situation. Owl, insight, wisdom, wise choice, unusual powers of discernment, Deciphering mystery. Sees truth behind the wall. Good advice. No sense of humor. Look at life from all angles. Explore unknown and magic in life. Is this me? This could be for me. Let me get a card for Donald Trump's announcement. What will be the nature of his announcement? This could be me. Or he could have advisors around him saying, listen, you got to fall back. This isn't good for you. He's getting advice also from the people around him to step down because it's not worth it. These are his close friends or people whatever friends he has left over, his close confidants who he's known for many years, decades even, people who really like him, who know him since the 80s and 70s. They're like, nah, this ain't worth it, bro. It's not. Fox, sexy or foxy, a good luck omen. A fox in the hen house, right? Something deceptive, something sneaky. Desire to stay single, work alone. Sneaky, witty, quick. Yeah, so he used his gifts of charm and manipulation. The North Node is very seductive and manipulative to kind of get himself in trouble. He has to sneak his way out of it. He's going to try to sneak his way out of the drama. He will become like almost not a recluse, but yeah, a recluse. He probably doesn't want to be around anybody that's not like his close friend for decades. He's trying to sneak away from this. Unusual powers of discernment, things that are hidden. He wants to be behind the scenes. It's like he now knows who his friends are and who his enemies are. He's become wiser and more mature throughout this process too, because he's become aware of the fact that the people who he thought were his allies were not. He has people around him telling him this is not going to work, like close friends who love and support him, who aren't using him for their own agenda. Look at life from all angles. Explore unknown and magic in life. Yeah. Let me do something real quick before I close this out. Let me find out something. Here we have the Chariot, the World. This is the number 7 and the number 21. That's 28. That's the number 1. That's the Magician. That's Gemini energy. Then we have, hold on, if we add this to it, 7, 21 plus 15 is 36. Number 8, the Strength card. No, hold on. 15, 22, 21. That's number 43. 20. My brain is like, it's drawing a blank for some reason. Okay. 21 plus 15 is 36. 36 plus 7 is 43. That's the number 7. That's the Chariot card. Moving forward. 7, 22 plus 21 is 43. Yeah, that's the number 7. So he's moving forward. This is done. This is done. This reminds me of the Star card. It's like Aquarius. This is going to lead to some sort of major transformation. But people will be happy about it. Let me do some more because I'm a little bit excited now because I didn't know what to expect, honestly. But he's stepping down, but it's not like I'm sad about it, I'm effed up. He's happy, he's relieved to do this. He may pretend to be sad about it, but he's really happy because he lost his freedom. He lost himself in this whole charade, I guess. It's just a mess. It's a mess. And now JD Vance he's inherited the mess. So now he has to also question, his own motives and why he pursued power and why he went against his own morals and values for the sake of being the vice president, because he did not support Donald Trump at all. He was a Democratic candidate, I think. He was a Democrat, period. Okay, so let's find out what's going to happen when Donald Trump, if he steps down. Okay. Now, spirit guys, okay. If Donald Trump steps down within the next 6 months, how will that affect the average American citizen? I'm not talking about racists or bigots, the average American citizen. How will it affect the consciousness, the economy, the emotions of the average American citizen? How will the people feel about Donald Trump leaving office? Or let me just start off a little slow. How will Donald Trump's resignation, how would it affect the U.S. economy? How would it affect the U.S. economy, job market? How would it affect our economy? Starve. Ace of Cups. This could lead to a renewal of business contracts, associations. There's going to be an improvement in trade deals or international business relationships. New opportunities. There's going to be some sort of a sense of renewal or hope. This is like breaking bread, new trade agreements, getting rid of the tariffs, something like that, where it is like a faucet was turned off is being turned back on. Flow of money was turned off is being turned back on. So this is a benefit. There could have been starvation, like something is being starved out now on purpose, and that I guess something is being turned back on, a faucet is being turned back on. So this could be like an improvement in trade deals or international investments. Yeah, because Donald Trump's policy is also affecting U.S. diplomacy, education, international students. The whole energy was very, stay away from America. So we're going to be receiving a lot more money from tourism or trade deals. The tariffs may go away. This could benefit the economy, definitely. Yeah. This would benefit the economy. More jobs. The faucet is turning back on. Something was turned off. So the economy was being like bottlenecked or squeezed or drained or something. And now with him stepping down, the economy is going to actually improve. That could also be an incentive for him to step down as well, because his trade policy is actually inimical to the labor force, people getting rehired for jobs. There's going to be a sense of gratitude also with the Virgo energy here. Yeah, Strength card. It's going to improve the economy. I mentioned that Strength is the opposite of Devil. The Devil came out earlier. This could actually benefit. Oh, this is both. Okay, yeah, new opportunities, new jobs. Yeah, 2 major arcana here. This is actually really positive. So people will now have more resources to start their own businesses, or they'll get back to work. Some spigot or faucet is being turned back on once he steps down. This was not something he anticipated. I think he had an idea of how he wanted things to go, but it's just not. Things fell apart, courtesy of the North Node and Gemini conjunction. Usually people with this placement are kind of unstable and unpredictable. So circumstances and situations in the economy and the global market and whatever, it prevented him from doing what he thought he was going to be able to do, which was to like heal the economy in some way. by, dealing with the trade deals. But that's what his goal was. But this is not 1975. He needs to now learn how to be Pluto in Aquarius, how to collaborate with others, how to work with other people, how to be diplomatic. This is actually going to be really good for American businesses and tourism. The Knight is going to the Page. Then the Magician, something could have been depleted and now it's being reinvigorated again. Five of Wands, competition, interview. I think this is like an increase in economic activity. I don't see this as negative. I see this as like more people getting interviews or getting jobs. There's more competition. Like there's something being awakened here with this is Leo also. Something's being awakened. There's more competition for jobs. But that means that the job market is now reopened or something. There's like more activity, more movement. Yeah, the World card. There's more activity and more movement. All these major arcana, this is a positive outcome. Either long-term or temporarily or short-term, I don't know, but it's a positive. I don't see the Death card. I don't see the Tower. I don't see the Four of Swords. I don't see Five Pentacles. I don't see none of that. But for the Ace of Cups, please. There's more, it's like lots of movement, truck driving. Mercury is about transportation and the transference of energy, exchange of energy, exchange of ideas, exchange of information, exchange of goods and services. That's Mercury, number 5. But it's like there's more energy. It's like being reinvigorated. So it seems like chaos, but it's not. The Strength card and the Ace of Cups, it's not. It's just like now the activity is so much robust movement. It's like a buffet. There's so many jobs available. So many jobs available that people will be interviewing. It's like there's something's going to be reinvigorated or reactivated. Clap on the Ace of Cups and the King of Pentacles, please. The World reversed. Yeah. Something was supposed to end or ended. Wheel of Fortune reversed also. Yeah. So him not stepping down was like, it was preventing us from starting a new cycle, or there was something that was drained. The world stopped. Global trade was declining or in some way. China is now investing more in Africa. Corporations are investing more in Africa. Also because of the boom of retirement and the pensions and Social Security, the global elites, they want to invest in the third world or developing world because they're cheaper. So they can sell their goods and services. They can compete with China by making cars in Africa and in Latin America. They can't compete with China making cars in the United States. So they're trying to, become more competitive in the global market as well by outsourcing or offshoring jobs to third world countries or developing countries. And they won't be third world for long because they'll be developing nations and then they'll become second world and then first world as their industrial base gets, as it grows. And the U.S. industrial sector, the U.S., I don't know what's going to happen, but the U.S. economy, like we're not going to be a hegemon anymore, or we're not now actually. So a lot of people talking smack about third world countries need to stop because those countries will be second and first world very soon, and you won't be able to afford to live there within the next decade, more than likely, okay? Will the Fortune reverse the world? Yeah, this is like a good fortune being stalled or delayed or stopped. Opportunities being blocked because of someone's malfeasance or their policies or whatever. That's changing. Now this is upright. The world is upright. It's turned around. More competition, more movement, more global trade, more shipments, less tariffs. There's more balance. It's like you got to learn how to play with other people. You're not the big boss no more. Sorry. Clarify the Knight of Pentacles, please. Knight of Pentacles for the American economy. Ten of Cups, yeah. Families. This is happy. This is a boon for the U.S. economy. If he leaves, this will be like almost like a jubilee moment. This will be happy for him too. And it's kind of bittersweet because he's going to realize that he was the problem. But that wasn't his intention, I don't think. But by him stepping down and being humble enough to put the needs of his country before himself, by being humble enough to be grateful for what he has, he's actually blessing the country by him stepping down. And people will feel blessed, whether that's the reality or not, I don't know, but they'll feel that way. Clarify the Strength card and the Magician, please, in the Page of Pentacles. We have Queen of Pentacles reversed, right? This was reversed. So people are feeling, yes, I have money, but everything is so expensive, I can't afford anything. But also, this could be greed. The rich receiving more tax breaks and the poor receiving cuts to social programs, education. That's not going to hold. Or is that going to hold? We'll see. But the Queen of Pentacles reverse is not really a good card. She's greedy or she's insecure. We'll see. But it's not, again, it's not one of the negative cards. Magician, we have the Five of Cups. Right? There's some regret or loss. We're getting over that. We're healing. The Strength card is a healing card here. And the Queen of Pentacles is going to be upright. Now, if you remember, in the previous spread, the Queen of Pentacles was upright for Donald Trump's card. So this is like someone's greed being put in check. Somebody was greedy for power, greedy for wealth, greedy for something. It wasn't about the country. He lost sight of what he was running for president for. It became about his ego. Because it became about his ego, he started doing things for the sake of like wielding his power, and it was destroying his relationships with other countries. This is Pluto in Aquarius. You have to learn how to work with people. If you don't know how to work with people, you don't know how to have friends, it's over for you. This is Leo energy. This is Gemini energy. Leo ascendant, Gemini sun. Clarify the Five of Swords, Five of Wands, and the World card, please. You guys have to understand that when a president is elected, his natal chart becomes a chart of the United States. So the Mars-Pluto energy that was on his ascendant became a reflection of the interactions and the dynamics and the energy that we were expressing among each other. All the race baiting, the race war conversations, civil war, Howdy Doody impersonator Nick Fuentes starting trouble with, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. It was just so much back and forth going on. That was a reflection of his energy. But at the same time, J.D. Vance has Pluto square his ascendant and his sun too. I forgot where his Mars is. So I don't think it's over. I think it's kind of being subdued or quelled a little bit because the powers that be do not appreciate all the smoke they're receiving for their Epstein activities. Clarify the Five of Wands, please. The Four Wands reversed. Donald Trump, yeah. This is him. This is also a reflection of him. Here's what's going on. This can manifest in two ways. So with the Five of Wands, I'm thinking this is job interviews. People leaving their homes, right? People, interviewing for jobs outside of their comfort zone, leaving your comfort zone to get back into the labor force. You might not have been able to find a job for the past 4, 5, 6 months, right? Something like that. The Four of Wands reverse is not usually a bad card. It's just, I love being with my family and my kids, but I have to go back to work, right? I'm broke. Even though I get to spend time with my child or my children, I don't have enough money to like live a certain lifestyle, so I need to get back to work. That's the Four of Wands reverse. And so this is like, it's like there's a, this is like making the best out of an unpleasant situation. There are it is good to spend time with your kids and your family, but if you don't have enough money to pay certain bills, the stress is not good. So people may be deciding to go back to work, even though they enjoy being with their children. They need to work. They need to make money. That's the Four of Wands reverse and the Five of Wands. So it's like, almost like, and this the Nine of Wands here too. That's the Nine of Wands is like preparing for battle or war or stress. That Nine of Wands is being broken up by the desire to find a job or the ability to find work. Now the energy isn't stagnant. There's a sense of enthusiasm, of courage, because now the tariffs or whatever, or there's more trade. Some faucet was turned off. It's being turned back on. Clarify the World card, please. The faucet is being turned back on. The Hangman, yeah. Being stuck in limbo. Some sort of epiphany, enlightenment, awareness, wisdom. People were waiting for jobs. They were like stuck. We can't move our trucks. We can't, we're not hiring. People were not hiring. The Hangman. Because they weren't sure how the economy would play out. Okay, we need 4 more people on our staff, but we don't know if our budget will be able to sustain them for the future. So we got to wait for, I don't know, a new fiscal year to start, the budget to come out. We're waiting for the government to let us know how much money we'll have for education, for healthcare, for food service, for transportation. People were at a standstill waiting for something to take place, some news, information. And now that they're receiving this information, it's like, okay, there's a scramble. We got to hire these people. It's like it's like a mad dash or rush to hire lots of people. And that's going to create lots of competition. Because you'll have people who are displaced from their jobs with lots of experience competing with new college graduates. So you're working for the federal government and you're one of the 300,000 Black women who lost their job. Now you're trying to get your job back, but you're competing with people who never worked for the government before. So it's like there's more competition, but that means there's more jobs available, but that doesn't mean everybody will get a job. Okay, hold on. Okay. How will Donald Trump, if he resigns, how will that affect the U.S. Socially, culturally, mentally? How will this affect the citizens of the United States as far as their emotions, their mental health, their sense of community? How would it affect the average American? Three of Wands, new hope, new opportunities. They may be traveling more. Yeah, they may feel more secure. This is not misery. This is not the Five of Swords. It's not the Ten of Swords. It's not the Eight of Swords. It's not the Seven of Swords. It's not the Death card. It's not the Tower card. This is like it's like people feel there's more jobs here. King of Pentacles. I don't have time to fight online with people. I'm looking for a job. Right? So it's like, I think they realize that the elites realize that the reason why they're getting so much smoke is that a lot of Americans are not happy. When Americans are happy, when people are happy in general, they're not concerned about Epstein files. Not to say it's not a big deal, it is. But if you're broke and you don't have a job and you're at home all day and you have a girlfriend or wife, you'll have more time, energy, and attention to pay to Epstein files and what the government's doing. They know this. So this is like they got to turn the faucet back on. More please. How will Donald Trump's resignation affect Americans psychologically, socially? A lot more travel, more opportunities. They'll feel more hopeful. King of Swords, interviews, Knight of Swords, King to the Knight, movement. transitions, judgment card. These aren't bad. So you go from the king to the knight to the page. There's going to be less concentration or focus on the things that people cannot change, on the powers that be. So now we have the king of swords. This is fixed air. This is an authority figure. This is investigation and research. They're going to be moving around. They're not going to have as much. This is a fixation on a particular topic or subject. They won't have the time for that anymore. They'll be too busy working, trying to find a job, or just doing other stuff. The narrative will change and shift. It will change and shift. This is Aquarius. This is Gemini. Research, learning. This is. I think the arguments will dissipate and they'll calm down. Page of Pentacles reverse. Right. People were talking smack because they had no jobs. They were broke. They were economically unstable or unsure what was going on. Gemini, the king of swords, please. We have the magician. Yeah, Gemini. Now things are shifting and transitioning. People felt stuck, stagnant, stalled. Pluto's in Aquarius. They felt powerless. Now energies moving to Gemini. Uranus is in Gemini currently. There's more opportunities for movement, for growth, for change. They feel like they have more hope, more opportunities here. It's like they don't feel as blocked or restricted as they once did with the King of Swords energy. Page of Swords, we have Judgment reversed, and it's up right here. The Judgment represents a final decision based on circumstances and situations that have been taking place for quite a while. So you're making a judgment call here. The judgment call they had determined was like, okay, we're powerless. We don't have any power. We don't have any money. Now we're fixated on Epstein files. We're fixated on race relations. We're fixated on immigration. If you have a job and a family and a girlfriend and other things to worry about, you don't have the energy for that. So there's like a movement or a shifting in perspectives. This could also be job interviews. Put it on your resume. This will be more job offers. More job offers. I'm not seeing a lot of pentacles here. The King of Pentacles is here, but I'm not seeing like a lot of. It's like people, just more resumes, Page of Swords, job offers, interviews, competition. But that means that there are more jobs. So it's like, yeah, people feel invigorated, inspired, confident, enthusiastic, hopeful for the future. Clarify the Page of Wands and the King of Pentacles, please. We have Two of Pentacles, right? Economic instability leads to change. Now this is Capricorn energy, which is industry and business. There is some oscillation. This is trade balances, balancing the budget, balancing. This is some sort of trade imbalance that's being rectified. Pentacles represents finances, movement of energy, cardinal, earth, something being initiated or changed or started. And because of that, because of some economic adjustment or change or shift in policy, something was toggled or adjusted. There's more opportunities now. It's not stagnant anymore. You have more options, but policies are shifting and moving. Like this is like harmonious change to create balance economically. So there's something that is currently enforced or being enacted that's affecting the U.S. economy in a negative way. It's depleting jobs or is affecting the job force in a negative way. We're not making enough money. Something's going on. I don't know why he would do that. I had an idea of what he was trying to do before, but it didn't work out the way he expected because his friends, the wealthy boomers who were in their 70s and 80s, don't really care about the future of the country because they're going to be dead anyway. And they think the country will die with them. They're happy with that. So his policies were ignorant, or they weren't fully baked, or they weren't considerate of the changes in the economy or the economic, they weren't considerate of Russia's development, China's development, BRICS, right? The US is no longer a hegemon. This is not 1975, not 1985, not even 1995. So it's like his policies were very myopic, short-sighted, inconsiderate of other people's needs or desires. Very Leonian. He wasn't being Aquarian in nature. He's learning how to be Aquarian. How do you work with other people? How do you negotiate, make deals? Not say, if you don't do this, I'm going to do that to you, like a bully. You can't do that with Pluto and Aquarius. Israel is learning that now. And I'll get into Israel in another reading. You can't just bully people like that, because you're going to get jumped at some point during Pluto and Aquarius, that transit. You're going to get jumped if you're a bully. Okay. Clarify the the King of Pentacles for the collective. And then should I do one more card? I don't know. Nine of Wands, yeah. And I mentioned Nine of Wands earlier. I said the Nine of Wands is broken up into 5 and 4. So people were afraid. They're waiting for the next shoe to drop. Oh my God, what's next? That's being dissipated. It's being mitigated by economic opportunities. So even if everybody can't find a job, right? The fact that shipments are coming in, the trade deals are better, like, that's going to reduce the cost of certain things. So China had to increase the price of their products because of the tariffs. If the tariffs are removed, China can go back to selling cheap goods and services, in a sense, and that will alleviate some of the stress from the American consumer. So something's and then it's going to create more jobs, because there's more orders for cheap products and services. People can buy more stuff. And now it's holiday season. This is holiday season. October, November, December. This is the most important day for that's the Saturnalians, whoever you want to call them, for the Christians, for the occultists, the most important day of the year. 7 days before the winter solstice. Is it 7 days? No, my bad. 3 days after the winter solstice. My bad. Christ resurrected on Christmas Day, right after Capricorn season begins. The sun in Capricorn. December 21st, December 22nd. 3 days later, Christmas, yay. They can't sacrifice that. That's their holy day. So they're going to have to fix this shit up. We were once here, oh my God, we're broke. We have no jobs. So even if everybody can't find a job, there's still going to be more hope, because maybe 100,000 people will be rehired. Maybe 200,000 will be hired. The job market will improve, and people will feel less strained, fearful, concerned, or afraid, especially Pisces people. Pisceans, mutable signs in general. Pisces, because Saturn's going to retrograde into Pisces too, and it's going to leave the second house of Aries. So yeah, this is like, people feel more hopeful for their future. Even if they can't find a job, they're hopeful that, the economy is improving, and now they'll know that, okay, within 6 months I can find something. At this point, people are like, I don't know when I'll be able to find another job. Everything is shut down. There's so many changes with AI and whatever, trade deals. It's collapsing around us. There's a lack of hope. So even if 50% of people who lost their job over the past 6 months get their job back, that's still going to be better than nothing. So there's more of a renewed sense of hope and less focus on Epstein and the elites and Zionists and, unfortunately, genocide. Okay, so there's going to be some sort of renewal. Do I get another? Should I do another one? Let me think. I'm gonna do one more and I'm out. It's over an hour already. I enjoyed this reading, but essentially, what I gathered from this is that Donald Trump's announcement may allow him to spend more time with his family, with his children, with his grandchildren, and with his friends that he enjoys. He wants to enjoy the simpler things in life. He's learned how to appreciate all that he has acquired in his life. He may have been spoiled, entitled, greedy, selfish, arrogant, petulant, narcissistic. And now he's like, you know what? I'm getting my ass kicked. Let me sit down. Let me behave. You know what, God, you're right. The simpler things in life are the best. I don't have to keep winning all the time because now I'm losing. Dreamweaver, dreaming and imagining, bring your powerful vision into reality. That's the message for the collective, I guess. That means there's more possibilities here. There's more possibilities for the collective. Bring your powerful vision into reality. That means there's more hope. This is Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer at this time, square Neptune. So, yeah, when you can, Saturn as an energy this is very Saturnian reading. Well, the energy that the United States is in is very Saturnian, very cold, hard, ruthless, angry, brutal, oppressive, impoverished. What's the word? Depleted, now nourished, separatist. This is the energy of Jupiter and Neptune. How to heal that separated energy. Roots of stability. Ground yourself in what nurtures your being, establishing a stable base from which love and career can bloom. That's what's happening with us now. With American society, if Donald Trump steps down, that's what is going to change in our perspective or perception about career. But I think Donald Trump is also retiring from public life because he's not being nurtured in this space. There's no love here. He's a Leo rising. He wants fun. He wants to have fun. He wants to enjoy life. He can't do that now. Secure your foundation, fostering growth and stability for a thriving journey ahead. This is for us. So there's new roots, new seeds being planted. New seeds being planted. And roots is Cancer. That's the fourth house, the family, ancestry, the nation itself. The country is being stabilized and people's dreams will be coming true. If you didn't want him to be in office anymore, if you wanted Donald Trump to step down, you want to get what you want. And that is going to heal the collective. How will Donald Trump's resignation affect the collective of American citizens or the world in general? How will Donald Trump's resignation affect the collective? Healing energy here and now. The future does not exist and the past is gone. I focus on the present moment. No Epstein files. I have confidence in life again. The Sun card. Three of Wands. Yay, King of Pentacles. Five of Wands is also confidence because now you're competing for something. You're fighting for something. There's an opportunity for you to win if you are fighting. If you're not fighting, then it's over. The battle's lost or won, right? I have confidence in life again because here and now there is no danger. Nine of Wands. Turning to the Five and the Four of Wands. Everything happens when my soul is ready. Here and now. This is throat chakra, sacral chakra, no, throat chakra, third eye chakra, and even the crown chakra. Okay. This is a higher octave of experience, more positive. peaceful, less fearful. We're not in the root chakra, sacral. No, this is not about survival. We're getting beyond like fear and anxiety and survival and moving towards peace as a collective and more social cohesion. It's like a bad nightmare. This is giving me a nightmare that's ending, but it was never real. It's like a nightmare that is ending, but it wasn't a real nightmare. Like Donald Trump was like an optical illusion or something. The North Node conjunct the sun. But he wasn't, it was like a boogeyman, but the boogeyman was there to teach us a lesson about ourselves too. He's stepping down. Once he steps down, it'll be as if nothing ever happened, or he didn't exist, or we'll be able to appreciate what we did not appreciate before. Like he was there to remind us to be appreciated, to appreciate the small things in life. So I honestly think that the collective will be happier if he steps down and people will be nicer to each other. Not because I want them to be, because I really don't care, because I just don't care. But I feel like the racism will kind of quell down a little bit. People will start to like, yay, like there's like a sense of celebration among everybody because it's such a nasty energy we're in right now. And I think even the virulent racists, like Howdy Doody, aka Nick Fuentes, he'll feel a sense of like of gratitude or appreciation, like things are getting better or things, I don't know, all this race stuff or this animosity or this nationalism is it's a corrosive to the country. It's not helping anything. How do we work together even with even with our differences? How do we appreciate our differences and still work together toward a common goal? That'll be the conversation more so. Okay. Everything turns to light. I work to improve myself, embrace all that life brings to me, and transform darkness into light. The devil turning into the sun, even devil becoming the strength card. I allow myself to grow and become stronger. Darkness into light, people becoming more positive, less stress, less angry, right? Less depressed, even more hopeful. Success. I grow and thrive in the universe. I discover the purity of my heart and the higher wisdom that guides me towards victory. I direct my thoughts toward clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within me. I am free now, and I succeed in my life. So it's like this Saturnian energy is affecting the collective. I think Donald Trump has Saturn and Mercury. I'm not sure. I forgot. Saturn is forming a square to Jupiter. No, is it? No, I'm sorry. It is, yes. Saturn in Aries is forming a square to Jupiter in Cancer. And this is feeling hopeless, feeling like, you know what? I don't even want to try. I'm done. Because Jupiter represents opportunities and it represents freedom and wisdom and abundance. And Saturn is kind of a hater when it comes to that. We've been dealing with the Saturn Jupiter square for a couple years now because Saturn was in Pisces and Neptune was in Pisces too, which is the higher octave, I think, of Jupiter. Jupiter and Neptune both rule Pisces. And so, yeah, Saturn being in Pisces and Neptune being in Pisces, it was square Jupiter in Gemini. Now Saturn is in Aries and is square Jupiter in Cancer. So there's been several years of a square between Saturn and Jupiter. And there's a sense, again, of hopelessness, of being restricted and limited and blocked in some way. And then it turned into depression and anger. That's being dissipated at this time. Let me get one planet representing the energies that will be healed, manifested, expressed after Donald Trump's, no, I'm sorry. What will be the nature of Donald Trump's announcement later on today? So I'm recording this at like 2 in the morning. 3 in the morning now? Okay, it's been over an hour. What will be the nature of Donald Trump's announcement today? Pluto. Endings, transformations, changes, permanent endings. This is over. It's done. This is not the sun and Mercury. This is, I'm done with this. Pluto represents death, metamorphosis, endings. Pluto is currently in Aquarius. This is stepping down from power, abdicating power, releasing power. And this will make, okay, so how will this announcement affect the American citizen? How will we feel about it? Uranus, unexpected changes. What's next? Oh my God, this is so sudden. What are we going to do? Now, Uranus is currently forming a trine to Pluto. So this is, again, this is a radical shift in consciousness. Whatever he's going to announce is going to change everything. For better or worse. But from what I'm looking at, we're going to be happy about it. He'll be happy too. We're all going to be happy about it. Everybody will be happy about it. Even the people who are controlling him, the global elites, they are seeing him as a liability because of the Epstein situation. So they see him as someone who's covering up for their crimes. So whenever they see Donald Trump, they'll also see Hillary Clinton, they'll see Bill Clinton, they'll see George Bush, Dick Cheney, Netanyahu. It's like he is a symbol now, or he's a symbol or a scapegoat for this demonic elite. And every time they see him, they're going to mention the Epstein files, which brings them into attention too. So they don't want him there either. Everybody, once he steps down, everybody will be happy. Everybody. With what's his name? JD Vance. With JD Vance, they can have sort of a clean slate, sort of a clean slate with him because he wasn't the one talking about Epstein files. Donald Trump is on that list. I don't think JD Vance is. And JD Vance was not really hobnobbing with Epstein. I don't think he was in that circle, although JD does have skeletons in his closet too, because that's how the elite work. Why do I have a cut on my hand? That's how the elite operate. They're not going to put you in positions of power unless they can control you with some dark secret. Oh, he's gay. Oh, he has a secret baby. Oh, he is a pedophile. Oh, he's a criminal, whatever. They usually choose people they can control with their dirty, dark secrets, which is why they put Cosby in jail and R. Kelly in jail and Michael Jackson in jail because they wanted their money, their catalog, their resources. It's that simple. They don't care about children and women. They're also trafficking children and women. To be honest, what R. Kelly and Cosby and Jackson were doing was considered light work, not to dismiss it or downplay it at all. But compared to what these people were doing, eating people, cannibalism, I don't think Cosby was performing cannibalism or R. Kelly. Although R. Kelly was disgusting and Bill Cosby was disgusting too, but they didn't go to jail because they committed crimes. They went to jail for political reasons. Because if this country, if the powers that be cared about all these helpless children, then they wouldn't be protecting thousands upon thousands of pedophiles in the halls of power. They would not be doing this. I'm sorry. So because these men are Black and they have power and resources, they're not allowed to die and pass on their wealth to their children. That's a part of the Inquisition as promised. Right? The Spanish Inquisition said we're going to make sure that these brown people never come into power again. That means we'll use them to get rich and they'll enjoy a good life. but they will not be able to pass down their resources, their wealth, or inheritance to their children. We got to stop it in their tracks. There's no, because once you pass down wealth to your kids, for the most part, those kids have an advantage. If you are born poor and you die poor, you're starting from scratch over and over again. There's no ascension, there's no building. You can't build like that. That's why Black Americans have so little wealth, because their wealth has been snatched from them generation after generation. Land, job opportunities, resources, wealth, whatever, jobs. You're always starting at the bottom. And now you're at the mercy of the system or the powers that be, who are able to inherit wealth from their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents. They have old money. Now they're going to the best institutions. They have the best schools, the best food, in the best neighborhoods. They don't have to start from zero. That's why they have an advantage over you. This is why they don't want certain Black people to pass down wealth to their communities or to their children. This is why you'll see a lot of Black athletes with non-Black partners. That's the goal. Make sure that these people do not come into power ever again. They're talented, they're charming, they're blessed in many ways. We will get rich off of those blessings, but we will prevent them from passing down those blessings to their children. I think that's why Oprah is still not touched, because she doesn't have any kids and she's not married. I think Oprah knew this. She knew that if she had children and she was married, she will also be targeted for whatever Cosby went through, R. Kelly went through, Michael Jackson went through. Who else is going through it? Sean Combs. Sean Combs is one of those people. He's one of them. He's their homie. He was just being taught a lesson. They don't care about what he was doing. They don't care. Hugh Hefner was doing it for decades. Never went to jail, never got arrested. This is what they do. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I look forward to reading your feedback. If you want to order a personal reading from me, the link's in the description box. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.